And I wanted to talk about a cool and fun version of 3D printing that I've actually tried in the last year, which are 3D pens.
Okay, I haven't tried this. This would be interesting.
Yeah, I visited a friend. He has a small kid, and they bought him a bunch of different toys. One of them was this 3D printing pen. So it basically does the same thing as a 3D printer. It melts plastic, and the fun thing is that you can literally draw shapes in mid-air, and it looks like magic, right? Because you have to move your hand slow, right? You can't go zig, 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 like a magic wand. But if you move the pen slowly, it can literally stay in air, right? Probably the first one won't. But if you connect it to like a cube-shaped object, you can literally create a cube. After 10 seconds, it gets dry, and you lift it up, and you have like a cube in front of you.
Nice.
Super fun.
And what kind of stuff did you do?
So it's a small kid, so he was drawing like a flower, a house, and wasn't very skilled at the 3D element of keeping structures from falling apart, And then I gave it a try and tried to do it a little bit more precisely. I managed to get a cube. It wasn't very solid, so you would have to take a lot of time to kind of fill it out to make it more solid. But for the kids fun element where they kind of like get a few lines to like stand like that and make a flower and things like that, it's really fun. It really works.
It makes me think of a VR program that I've used called here's me forgetting a thing again, but it was a painting program, but it was in 3D, so you get into VR and you can paint in midair, and artists have taken that and run with it and created some incredible stuff. So I wonder, like, put that pen in the hand of an artist who understands how to support the material, you could probably like end up with beautiful work.
Sure. Yeah. I feel that commercials that you see on YouTube and online seem a little bit over-promising, like people doing an amazing shape on the first try. It's
sure.
You probably won't get it on the first try. You'll probably have to do it like 50 times until you kind of get a feel for it, and I think you have to have some kind of construct in mind, like how is it going to like stick to each other, and is it going to fall to one side? Is it stable enough? I think you need to take these kind of things into consideration, but I think as an educational tool for kids, teaching some engineering principles from the start, I think it's amazing. Like, imagine if you took like 10 of these pens, brought it to kids in preschools, and give them like an optional engineering class, where they just get 3D pens and like, all right, today we're starting with a house, right? And then scale it up and teach them more and more. And as they're trying to draw something, you explain the mechanics behind, I don't know, statics of a house, or gravity working on it, like concept like that can be very challenging, but also very easy to understand if you have the right visual representation in front of you. I just think that it might be a great tool.
Yeah, it's structural basics, I suppose, what you're talking about. And I'm thinking about it there as you're describing it, and like, if you're essentially, what you're doing is taking the print head of a printer off the motors and doing a freehand, and it's going to be painstaking because you really do need to go quite slowly, unless you're doing like a line on a supported surface. But I kind of dismissed them because I was like, why would you want one of them? You'd need to do all of the shapes yourself. But I actually would like to try when they described it.
As far as I gather, they're not too expensive, but the first flaw that you noticed is that a fixed 3D printer, like you have behind you, has a fixed pace of applying an equal amount of mass or filament to a surface, right? Or to an object. Here, you kind of move your hand a little bit faster, and then it's like very thin. And then, of course, you're a perfectionist. You want to fix it. You go back. And of course, you can't hit it in a millimeter. That's like a gap, and one part is thick, the other one is thin, and then you're like, you get angry about it, So it definitely requires you to be patient about it and try to think as a 3D printer, like, all right, slowly draw the line, try to make it as straight as possible, and then let
Just
it cool
imagining
off.
you taking that literally, like thinking as a 3D printer, you print out the instruction file from the printer and like reading it. Okay, over 5 mil,
Yeah.
forward 3.
You don't need it because, as we said at the start of this podcast, the beauty is that you start with the design in your head, right? So you have all of this, which you have to kind of teach the computer how to understand physical reality and distance and all of that. You can understand that intuitively, like, all right, this needs to be this big, right? And you just draw it. So,
and I bet with relatively little trial and error with one of those pens, you could start producing really, really intriguing stuff.
Sure. Yeah. I tried it for like 20 minutes, so I didn't have that much experience with it. The kid kind of started playing with it and we started talking about something else.
But I can't imagine it really escaping the realms of artistic expression. Like, you're not going to be making anything particularly practical with that, I don't think.
Yeah.
Not by hand.
Nope. The closest to it, what I see is VR. It's just superior form, because you can, like, let's say you're a teacher in school. You want to show, demonstrate, explain, draw, write something, right? So other people understand you. If you use a 3D printing pen, what do you do when you're done with the lecture? You literally have to throw the stuff out, whatever you're doing, right? And it's just, you can't reuse it because you lose the magic of creating it, right?
Yeah.
So it's the whole books and cutting down trees problem again. Like, you're infinitely repeating and reusing material, right? In VR, you're just like, delete picture, like new canvas, right? And the room clears itself out, right? And then you can draw from nothing again and create a new design. So
that's a whole other podcast, though. The VR, AR future that we're running
Brendan,
into.
We're giving too many spoilers out for 2022.
I know.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see the full version, go to the Uncle Gold Podcast YouTube channel or watch the next clip.